Hey everybody, Spacewizard here. I've been thinking about the new Forbidden cards a lot lately, Forbidden Shaping most of all because I think it has the best chance out of the whole batch to heavily impact the metagame. So this week I decided to get some statistics together to see exactly how good this card is going to be. What I did was go through and classify every single minion in Standard on a grade scale, and then sorted them by mana cost. Using basic math, I then determined the percentage chance of getting a below average, average, above average, or top tier minion at each individual mana cost. Using these statistics, we can see exactly how often Forbidden Shaping will be good, and when it's best to cast it. Now bear in mind that these minions have been graded based on how well they perform on curve in a priest deck, and because we haven't seen the full set yet, I haven't included Whispers of the Old Gods cards in these statistics, but it's safe to say that their inclusion won't drastically change the outcome, and I'll probably be reanalyzing Forbidden Shaping anyways once the full set is revealed. Before I start, I'd like to explain a bit about the grade scale I'm using. There are 4 grades: below average, average, above average, and top tier. Below average minions have below average stats, or for whatever reason are bad when played on curve. Average minions have average stats for their cost, and usually don't have any relevant abilities. Above average minions have above average stats, or have abilities that can potentially make them better than other average minions. Lastly, top tier minions are the best of the best. They have above average stats, and abilities that make them better than any other minion you could play on curve. Since I can't name every single individual minion graded in this video, I've included a link to a written guide on Hearthhead.com in the description of this video that lists every single minion at every single grade on the scale. Included in that guide are all of the statistics presented in this video. If you disagree with me on a particular minion, you can move it to another grade and calculate for yourself how that affects the outcome of Forbidden Shaping. At 1 mana, the odds are in your favor that Forbidden Shaping will summon you an average or better minion. With a combined 36% chance that you'll summon an above average minion, 1 out of 3 times you're going to be getting cards like Cavaldier Raider or Dust Devil without incurring their negative effects. This consistency and potential for high tempo plays makes 1 mana arguably the best way to cast Forbidden Shaping in the early and mid game. At 2 mana, there's just about a 50-50 chance that you'll summon a below average minion, and there's only a 5% chance that you'll summon a top tier minion, the most powerful of which being Millhouse Mana Storm. Conversely, some of the worst cards you can pull at 2 mana are 1/1s like Novice Engineer, or cards that threaten to destroy your own mana crystals like Darnassus Aspirant. All these factors combined makes Forbidden Shaping a terrible play at 2 mana, unless you have absolutely nothing else to play on curve. At 3 mana, there's a 64% chance that you'll summon an average or better minion, putting it ahead of everything but 1 mana in terms of consistency. And while it only has half the chance that a 1 mana Forbidden Shaping has of summoning a top tier minion, the top tier minions that it can summon are much more powerful. There's an 11% chance that you'll pull cards like King Mukla or Injured Blade Master from a 3 mana Forbidden Shaping. While it may not be quite as good as a 1 mana cast, a turn 3 Forbidden Shaping is one of the best points in the game where you can play it. At 4 mana, Forbidden Shaping is somewhere in between a 50-50 and a 2 out of 3 in terms of consistency, and it only has a 6% chance of summoning a top tier minion. However, it has a 29% chance of summoning an above average minion, which are almost all equally powerful cards such as Tailwind Yeti and Fireguard Destroyer. Furthermore, the average stats of a below average 4 mana minion are somewhere around 3-3, and there isn't anything inherently negative that you can summon either. So while I wouldn't recommend casting Forbidden Shaping at 4 mana, you'll always be in a worse position by opting to pass your turn 4 instead. At 5 mana, Forbidden Shaping has a 57% chance of summoning a below average minion. Now it's important to understand that below average 5 mana minions are essentially just 4-drops. The majority of them are 5/4s and other variations of the same stat line. So much like at 4 mana, you can't really hurt yourself by playing Forbidden Shaping at 5 mana. However, because of the quality of the minion pool is so poor, and because turn 5 signals the start of the mid game, I strongly recommend that you avoid playing Forbidden Shaping for 5 mana if you have the option. At 6 mana, there's another 50-50 chance that the minion you summon is going to be below average. That being said, there's more potential for getting infinite value out of your Forbidden Shaping at 6 mana than there is at any other cost. You have a decent shot of pulling cards like Emperor Thorson, Illidan Stormrage, the Skeleton Knight, and quite a few other minions that threaten to produce too much value for your opponents to handle. In an aggro matchup, I tried not to play Forbidden Shaping at 6 mana if I could help it, but in a control matchup, you shouldn't have any reservations about playing this card on curve at 6 mana if you have to contest the board and you have nothing else to play. At 7 mana, you're favored in getting an average minion or better. However, unless you absolutely need to play something immediately on turn 7, I would suggest holding off for turn 8, because at 8 mana, Forbidden Shaping has a 0% chance of summoning a below average minion. This is the only mana cost where you're guaranteed to never summon a below average minion, making it by far the best turn to play Forbidden Shaping. Coincidentally, it also makes playing Forbidden Shaping at 9 and 10 mana obsolete because of their drastically lowered consistency. Although, if you absolutely have to, there's an 81% chance of summoning an average or better minion with 9 mana. What you want to do ideally is once you reach turn 10, simply use your hero power to spend 2 mana and let you play Forbidden Shaping at 8 mana. This gives you access to extremely powerful threats like Ronin and Tyrian Forging on demand, which can potentially have a huge impact on the game. What this means is that you can essentially look at Forbidden Shaping as a Tyrian Forging or a Ragnaros or a Grommash or any other 8-mana minion with extra text that reads, you can cast this minion at any other cost to summon a good minion 50% of the time. I personally think that's really rather good. It gives you a ton of leeway during the mulligan phase. In a control matchup, you can keep the Forbidden Shaping in your opening hand, knowing that you can play it to fill out your curve if need be, but on turn 8, you're guaranteed to summon a powerful minion with it. In an aggro matchup, Forbidden Shaping is actually better than any other 8-drop you can put in your deck, because you'd never get a chance to play a regular 8-drop anyways, you're just concerned with the early and mid-game, so you can play Forbidden Shaping at 1, 3, or 4 mana to fill out your curve with favorable odds of summoning something good. Control decks often play 1 or 2 late-game minions, so my suggestion is this. Cut out 1 late-game minion and one of their cards rotating out of standard, such as Velen's Chosen, and replace them with 2 Forbidden Shapings. This gives you not 1, but 2 guaranteed late-game threats that you can optionally play early on to fill out your curve. What you're essentially doing here is trading late-game consistency for early-game consistency, which is a very powerful option for control decks, especially if aggro decks get even stronger in the new expansion. The last point I'd like to touch on is the potential for Forbidden Shaping to summon a powerhouse minion like Millhouse Manastorm or King Mukla without the downsides. Even though the odds don't favor you, you do have the option of trying to pull a crazy good card out of Forbidden Shaping to get you out of an otherwise unwinnable situation. That's it for this week's video, guys, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be back next week with another new video, but until then, you can check out Hearthhead.com or either of its social media pages for all sorts of Hearthstone-related content. See you next time, everybody.